So I'd like to introduce Ashley Anderson from DNR, who will give her a presentation.
Hi, I'm Ashley Anderson from the DNR. I guess I should be talking to you guys, not the camera. But you guys are more than welcome to come over here. A lot of my stuff is hands-on, so I'm sure there's hand sanitizer in there, I know, so you guys can sanitize afterwards. But a lot of this stuff is going to be hands-on. We're going to feel like the differences between the furs, and I'm going to show you a lot of the up-close and personal stuff. So if you guys want to just come ahead and step on. So for the test, we're going to go over a bit of everything. And this year I'm going to make it a little bit more hands-on. So this is our owl. He has seen better days, but this is the one that we will use for Envirothon. So we're going to talk a little bit about the adaptations that he has that kind of just helps him catch his prey. And so just make sure you tell the kids to look up just what benefits the owl has that helps him catch the prey. Like obviously the talons, his camouflage, his eyes, his beak. Owls are really known for being a lot like silent flyers. They've got ears, slats in the side of its head. And make sure that they know that the owl cannot turn his head around 360 degrees. It starts in the center and he goes about a little under 180 and then back to the center and back this way. So a lot of times when they're looking this way, okay, don't freak out, his head pops off. Not supposed to be normal for taxidermy, but I scared this small child. We were at a picnic table, and usually at the very beginning of the presentation, I'll tell them, I'm like, hey, its head falls off. It happens, it's natural, but I didn't get to that point yet, and I picked my owl up, and its head just flopped right down on the picnic table, and she just looked at me with the biggest eyes, and she said, I'm traumatized now. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. But so what happens with the owl's head is it'll turn this way, and when he's looking this way and he hears you over there, he's going to turn all the way around. So a lot of cartoons and stuff will simulate that it's spinning all the way around, but it actually can't do that. It will break its neck. So that's our little owl. So just make sure that they know just a little bit about owls in specific, and then just a little bit about raptors as well. And then I'll also show you guys this. Does anybody know what this is?
An owl pellet?
Yes, this is an owl pellet. It's actually becoming a lot more common for kids to dissect these, and I'll bring this one around. So you can see that there are bones and stuff. This is everything that owl eats that can't digest. So like hair and bones, and a lot of times you can actually dissect these and figure out what kind of bones these are and figure out what this owl ate. This one says that it was disinfected. Who knows how disinfected that is, since it is in the stomach of an owl at one point.
That's cool.
Yeah, so you can kind of see, I don't know, show the camera. So, let's move on to, what are these? Antlers. A lot of kids will call these horns, especially in more rural parts. They're like, oh, there's a deer horns, which that's a very common terminology for here in West Virginia, but these are actually antlers. These are horns. Here we got, and this is all the stuff, this is the exact stuff that I'll bring on with me on the test. This is a bullhorn, and this is a bison horn. This is actually from here in West Virginia, in French Creek. There are differences between them. This is bone. You can see this is part of the skull. It grows straight from it, and they shed every single year. They will not. Horns will not shed every year. A lot of times you can see growth rings too on the horn, and they're made out of keratin, which is the same stuff your fingernails and hair is made out of. And another thing with the antlers, I don't know, should I show these to the camera? With your antlers, they're going to have a velvet stage where it has circulation that helps blood circulate through it and helps cool them down. They will shed that velvet. For elk, it's a little bit earlier than deer. It's more like August. They'll start shedding their velvet. And then for deer, it's more kind of October-ish. Alright, so this is the part that you guys are going to want to come up and take pictures of and feel the difference between the furs, especially our beaver and our otter. They have a very waxy fur. This helps keep that, their glands, their skin glands help produce this oil that helps keep them dry. It coats the little the little hairs, and it helps keep them dry. So you guys come up and feel the difference between the beaver, the river otter, and some of the other ones that we have. Come on. Wildlife is very hands-on. If you want hand sanitizer, there's some in that room. But if you go from, especially our bobcat's the softest fur that we have, and if you feel the beaver and then the river otter, you can kind of feel that it has like this waxy coating on it. Yeah, so make sure your kids just know a little bit about that. They look up into why that is, because there's just so much information there about wildlife. Yeah, so while you guys are up here, I'm going to show you these two skulls, because I will guarantee I will ask this question. It's one of my favorite ones. These skulls are skulls to two foxes that we have here in West Virginia. They are different. So this is actually a red fox skull, and this is a gray fox. Our red fox are a little bit bigger than our gray fox, and if you see, they're both nocturnal, but if you see them in your neighborhood, it's more than likely going to be the red fox. The gray fox is a super wooded creature. They rarely come out to like suburbs and neighborhoods, but they will if they're used to getting food. So make sure you keep your food up. Don't feed your animals outside at night. Make sure you bring it in if you do, because you're going to start attracting them. Like at one of our state parks, Pipestem, people will start feeding them off the balconies. And so we actually saw two gray fox pups at just playing around back there, and people just started feeding them more food. So that actually takes away their natural instinct, so it's actually really harmful for them. But you can tell the skulls apart, but you can see that this has like a V shape, and that's more of a U. See that? So this is the red fox, and this is the gray fox. So I definitely will ask that question for Envirothon. I'll show you this question. So this one, I think it's a little too bright. There we go. This one is the red